Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. Today we have 100 questions on general knowledge. Let's begin with question number 1. In what country did the volcano Sudak erupt on March 28, 1907 in the Kamchatka Peninsula? The Philippines, Russia, or Japan? Russia. Which sister ship to the RMS Titanic and RMS Britannic launched in 1911? Olympic, Lusitania, or Mauritania? Olympic. Which country gained self-government from the United Kingdom on March 15, 1922? Australia, Egypt, or Canada? Egypt. Question 4. What did the Rurik Pact, signed on April 15, 1935, concern? The defense of civilians, the defense of food production, or the defense of cultural objects? The defense of cultural objects. What did the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development begin lending operations for in 1946? The World Bank, World Trade Organization, or the International Monetary Fund? The World Bank. Cuban rebels kidnapped a world champion of what sport on February 23, 1958? Driving, diving, or shooting? Driving. Which planet did the USSR launch the Venera 1 towards on February 12, 1961? Towards Jupiter, Mars, or Venus? Venus. Which country capitulated on January 14, 1970 to end the Nigerian Civil War? Biafra, Benin, or Botswana? Biafra. Which actor was born in Hartford, Connecticut on May 12, 1907? Ava Gardner, Ingrid Bergman, or Katharine Hepburn? Katharine Hepburn. Which archipelago was sold to the U.S. in 1917 for $25 million? The Lucayan Archipelago, the Virgin Islands, or the Bahamas? The Virgin Islands. Where in the U.S. was the pineapple primary in April 1928? Illinois, Michigan, or Ohio? Illinois. Which country did Adolf Hitler rescind his citizenship off to become a naturalized German in 1932? Poland, France, or Austria? Austria. Which treaty, signed in 1948, served as the founding treaty for the Western European Union? The Single European Act, the Treaty of Brussels, or the Treaty of Paris? The Treaty of Brussels. Which Broadway musical opened on March 15, 1956? West Side Story, Camelot, or My Fair Lady? My Fair Lady. What was the nuclear submarine USS Thresher undertaking when it sank on April 10, 1963? Deep dive trials, nuclear power trials, or espionage trials? Deep dive trials. Where was the world's first Data Act for Data Protection enacted on May 11, 1973? Sweden, Denmark, or Norway? Sweden. Which country became a U.S. protectorate on June 12, 1901? Mexico, Costa Rica, or Cuba? Cuba. What did political scientist Goldsworthy Lowes Dickinson propose in 1915? BRICS, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or the League of Nations? The League of Nations. What did the 1921 Shepard-Towner Act federally cover? Education, immigration, or maternal health care and infant health care? Maternal and infant health care. Question 20. Which car company was founded in Stuttgart on April 25, 1931? Porsche, Mercedes-Benz, or Audi? Porsche. What type of aircraft was the Gloster Meteor when it launched in 1943? Fighter jet, bomber, or surveillance? Fighter jet. Which mine disaster happened in Pennsylvania on January 22, 1959? Knox Mine, Fox Mine, or Parks Mine? Knox Mine. Which country did Cameroon become independent from on January 1, 1960? The UK, France, or the Netherlands? France. Where were John Lennon and Yoko Ono married on March 20th, 1969? Porto, Portugal, Gibraltar, Spain, or Lyon, France? Gibraltar, Spain. What was the Cray 1, the first commercially developed iteration, when released in March 1976? A printer, a cordless telephone, or a supercomputer? A supercomputer. Which capital city's downtown was almost destroyed by a fire on April 19, 1904? Edinburgh, Toronto, or Canberra? Toronto. Which U.S. national park was established on February 26, 1919? The Denali National Park and Reserve, Mount Rainier National Park, or Grand Canyon National Park? The Grand Canyon National Park. What product did France prohibit the sale of on July 31, 1920? Alcohol, firearms, or birth control? Birth control. Which country did not join the Balkan Pact on February 9, 1934? Romania, Turkey, or Bulgaria? Bulgaria. Where did the Zoot Suit riots happen on June 3rd to the 8th in 1943? Los Angeles, Chicago, or New York City? Los Angeles. Question 31. Which animal was accidentally released in Brazil in October 1957? The European snail, the Africanized bee, or the Pacific marchfly? The Africanized bee. Which country began its year-long celebration of the 100th anniversary of Confederation with the Expo 67 World's Fair? Canada, Australia, or New Zealand? Canada. The UK abandoned their side of what project on January 20th, 1975? The Channel Tunnel, the Irish Sea Tunnel, or the North Sea Tunnel? The Channel Tunnel. Which peppermint candy was founded in 1901? Mentos, Big Sky, or King Leo? King Leo. Which U.S. state became the first to levy a gasoline tax on February 25th, 1919? Oregon, Washington, or Alaska? Oregon. Question 36. Which country was not specifically mentioned in Lithuania's 1918 Act of Independence? Hungary, Germany, or Russia? Hungary. On what day in 1937 did police shoot and kill 10 unarmed demonstrators in Chicago? Memorial Day, Independence Day, or Labor Day? Memorial Day. Which country declared January 1st, 1941 as the start of the year 2484 BE? Thailand, Cambodia, or Singapore? Thailand. Which Broadway musical was the first to be presented on television in its entirety in 1955? West Side Story, Peter Pan, or Oklahoma? Peter Pan. Which 1965 state funeral was the largest assembly of dignitaries in the world for that time? Charles de Gaulle, Winston Churchill, or John F. Kennedy? Winston Churchill. How many dollars of damage was caused by the northeastern United States blizzard of February 1978? $5 million, $20 million, or $520 million? $520 million. Which country decided to build a new city called Canberra to be its capital in February 1899? Australia, New Zealand, or Tonga? Australia. What did Polish Casimir Funk, biochemist, identify in 1912? Minerals, vitamins, or enzymes? Vitamins. What was Franklin D. Roosevelt doing when a paralytic illness struck him on August 11, 1921? Campaigning, worshiping, or vacationing? Vacationing. Which country claimed Queen Maud Land in Antarctica in January 1939? Norway, Finland, or Canada? Norway. Which medical procedure was successfully performed for the first time in 1943? Radiation therapy, kidney dialysis, or skin graft? Kidney dialysis. Which state broke diplomatic relations with Israel in reaction to the Doctors' Plot in 1953? Greece, the USSR, or Egypt? The USSR. Question 48. Which Olympic Games were held in 1968 in Grenoble, France? No Olympic Games, the Winter Olympics, or the Summer Olympics? The Winter Olympics. Question 49. What led to the 1979 Whiddy Island disaster in Bantry, Ireland? An oil tanker explosion, an oil tanker collision, or a terrorist bombing? An oil tanker explosion. What did the 1901 Hay-Pauncefote Treaty concern? Panama Canal building, territorial rights to Boston, or ownership of the British Crown jewels? Panama Canal building. Which U.S. film studio was not founded in the 1910s? Paramount Pictures, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, or Universal Pictures? Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. What medical condition led to Vladimir Lenin retiring as chairman of the Soviet government on March 9, 1923? A stroke, an aneurysm, or a heart attack? A stroke. The George Orwell 1934 novel was Burmese what? Rubies, Days, or Journeys? Days. Where was the Nankai earthquake and tsunami that killed over 1,300 people in December 1946? China, South Korea, or Japan? Japan. Of which country was Jorge Alessandri sworn in as the president on November 3rd, 1958? Chile, Argentina, or Peru? Chile. Occupation of which university led France to the brink of a revolution in March 1968? Sorbonne in Paris, the University of Paris, or the University of Nanterre? The University of Nanterre. Which province rejected a bid for independence from Canada in a referendum in May 1980? Quebec, Winnipeg, or British Columbia? Quebec. What was the first movie theater to open in Los Angeles in 1902? The Electric Theater, the Matinee Theater, or the Sunset Theater? The Electric Theater. Who was arrested in Paris for spying on February 13, 1917? Vera Atkins, Mata Hari, or Edith Cavell? Mata Hari. Which writer's play The Plough and the Stars premiered in 1926 in Dublin? Sean O'Casey, Jonathan Swift, or William Butler Yeats? Sean O'Casey. Which country formally changed its name to Iran in the national community in 1935? Babylon, Assyria, or Persia? Which country? Sorry, Persia is the answer. Getting ahead of myself. What was the first U.S. theme park that opened in Indiana in 1946? Santa Claus Land, Nursery Rhyme Land, or Fairy Tale Land? Santa Claus Land. Where was the Southeast Asia Treaty Organization established on February 19, 1955? Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok, or Singapore? Bangkok. Which beverage company introduced their first diet drink tab in May 1963? The Coca-Cola Company, PepsiCo, or Dr. Pepper? The Coca-Cola Company. Where did the Chipko movement begin on March 26, 1974? Pakistan, India, or Sri Lanka? India. What British offer did the International Zionist Conference delegates vote to reject on July 30th, 1905? Reparations for programs in Eastern Europe, land allocations in the Channel Islands, or a Jewish homeland in Uganda? A Jewish homeland in Uganda. What was the political leaning of the 1910s Spartacus League in Germany? Socialist, Marxist, or fascist? Marxist. What aircraft took its first flight on January 17, 1923? A hovercraft, an airship, or a rotorcraft? A rotorcraft. Which Disney character debuted in May 1932? Mickey, Goofy, or Daffy? Goofy. Who surrendered to end the Greek Civil War on October 16, 1949? The monarchists, the communists, or the Republicans? The communists. Where in Europe was myxomatosis introduced in 1952? Italy, France, or Slovenia? France. What synthetic fiber did Stephanie Kwolek develop at DuPont in 1965? Twaron, Kevlar, or Nomex? Kevlar. What did Southern Airways Flight 242 crash on in New Hope, Georgia on April 4th, 1977? A school, a farm, or a highway? A highway. Question 74. Which Portuguese king was shot dead in Lisbon on February 1st, 1908? Carlos I, Louis II or Cristiano III? Carlos I. Which art movement is Tristan Tzara credited with founding in February 1916? Cubism, Surrealism, or Dadaism? Dadaism. Which continent's electricity provider, Eskom, was founded in 1923? Australia, Africa, or Antarctica? Africa. Which Turkestan train route was completed on April 21st, 1930? Turkestan to Moscow, Turkestan to Siberia, or Turkestan to Istanbul? Turkestan to Siberia. Question 78. Airing on June 24th, 1949, what genre was the television show Hopalong Cassidy? A comedy, a police procedural, or a western? A western. Where was the Al Arabi SC founded in 1952? Saudi Arabia, Qatar, or Algeria? Qatar. Question 80. What role does Yuri Gagarin play in the USSR in the 1960s? A cosmonaut, a KGB operative, or a nuclear scientist? A cosmonaut. Which city's inaugural marathon began on March 29, 1981? Madrid, Berlin, or London? London. Who rebelled against Speaker Joseph Gurney Cannon in the United States House of Representatives in March 1910? Centrist Republicans, Progressive Republicans, or Conservative Republicans? Progressive Republicans. What did Wilhelm Fried Fuchs create in February 1915? News Corps, Fox Film, or Fox SE? Fox Film. The Kronstadt Rebellion involved members of which Soviet armed forces on February 28, 1921? Navy, Army, or Air? Navy. What did the Lateran Treaty signed on June 7, 1929 concern? Vatican sovereignty, Vatican dependency, or Vatican neutrality? Vatican sovereignty. Which state was not part of the official name for the Kingdom of Yugoslavia from 1918 to 1920? 1929? Croats, Slovenes, or Montenegrins? Montenegrins. What was the first radioactive element made synthetically on February 4th, 1936? Radium, francium, or actinium? Radium. Oil was discovered beneath the Caspian Sea off the coast of which country in 1949? Azerbaijan, Iran, or Turkmenistan? Azerbaijan. In which islands was the Battle of Eniwetok fought in 1944? Northern Mariana Islands, Solomon Islands, or Marshall Islands? Marshall Islands. Question 90. We're almost there. What did medical engineer John Alexander Hobbs develop in Toronto in 1950? The stent, the iron lung, or the pacemaker? The pacemaker. Which car manufacturing firm was founded in Italy on October 30th, 1963? Lamborghini, Ferrari, or Maserati? Lamborghini. Question 92. What was established in Greece on June 11th, 1975? The Greek Republic, the Hellenic Republic, or the Athenian Republic? The Hellenic Republic. What did American criminal Giovanni Bigliotto not go on trial for in 1983? Homicide, fraud, or polygamy? Homicide. In the US in 1900, what was the average death rate of children by age 5? 1 in 3 died, 1 in 4 died, or 1 in 5 died? One in 4 died. What flagship British department store opened its doors in March 1909? Harrods, Selfridges, or Fortnum and Mason? Selfridges. At which Los Angeles hotel was the first Academy Awards held on May 16, 1929? The Beverly Hills Hotel, Chateau Marmont, or the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel? The Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. On February 6, 1939, British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain stated any German attack on where will be automatically considered an attack on Britain. France, Portugal, or Ireland? France. The 1950 song A Bushel and a Peck was first introduced in what musical? Guys and Dolls, The Pajama Game, or Gigi? Guys and dolls. Who defeated Germany to win the 1966 FIFA World Cup final? Argentina, France, or England? England. And for our last question, which Canadian province was not one of two new provinces Sir Wilfrid Laurier proposed to the Canadian Parliament in 1905? Nova Scotia, Saskatchewan, or Alberta? Nova Scotia. And for our bonus question, what fell in Berlin on November 9th, 1989? Let us know the answer in the comments and how well you did. Thanks for playing this quiz. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.